thing. Game 3 between Todd Stevens and Aaron Shapiro. Humans, BANT mid-range. See who's going to be 6-0 after this one's done. Plenty of time to finish it, so we should. And Aaron looks like he might be kicking things off. It'll be an unclaimed territory naming humans, but nothing to do after that, unfortunately, for Aaron. For Stevens, he will play a Temple Garden tapped and pass the turn back. For Aaron, it's a Seagram Coast, and it's a Kitesail Freebooter. See exactly what Stevens is up to. And we get an idea right now. Stevens has got some of those Todd Stevens cards. You see Dromoka's Command, Knight of the Reliquary, Warship, Settle the Wreckage, and the lands to cast them all, Patrick.
A nice hand here for Stevens, but a little bit on the slow side, and a hand that's extremely vulnerable to Reflector Mage.
Very true. Very, very true. We'll go back over to Todd, who played that breeding pool tapped. We'll go to Aaron now. Aaron's got land number 3. It's a Canopy. Taking 1 is Aaron. That's a Noble Hierarch. Looks like an Exalted trigger is going to work itself into the equation here. And it will. Your follow-up is a Meddling Mage. We'll see exactly what this will be
Knight of the Reliquary.
Well, Patrick's already decided he knows what he wants to name. Well, it's a Courser of Crewfix that's gotten played. Now the Reliquary is the top card of the deck. Let's go back over to Aaron. As Courser being a 2/4 is a bit of a problem. It is now confirmed that now the Reliquary is the name.
So remember that Shapiro has to be mindful of Worship, so the workarounds there are kill or otherwise negate the Worship, strip it out of his hand, or be able to get all of Stevens' creatures off the battlefield while presenting lethal.
Can he do one or both of those things is the question. Well, that's going to answer that. It's a Meddling Mage. Now, what gets tough here is you know your opponent has Dromoka's Command in hand. Let's see what the follow-up is, though, first, before I finish that. As Warship is the name. And now here's Thalia's Lieutenant. All these creatures are going to get a little bit larger, of course.
In addition to that, players need 4 p.m. Individual sealed spectacular. Your pairings for round 1 are being posted. Once again, both the 4 p.m. sealed.
And now we're going to see Aaron do some attacking here, and it looks like it's going to be the Meddling Mage on the ground.
Yeah, that gets it to a 4/4, no block with the Courser.
So Stevens is going to fall down to 14. Let's go back over to Stevens now. He'll draw another Reliquary. Hollowed Fountain on top of the deck. Now the Reliquary, remember, he cannot cast because of Meddling Mage. The other Meddling Mage is naming Warship here in this instance, pardon me. Hollowed Fountain, tap. Gain a little bit of life here from the Courser. We'll see the top card here from Stevens in just a moment. Path to Exile, that's a good one. And keep in mind, Todd Stevens has a Dromoka's Command in hand. You know it, Todd knows it, and even Aaron knows it, given the Kitesail Freebooter.
So the Dromoka's Command here is problematic for Shapiro. If you send in just the Freebooter, then that can be killed. The Meddling Mages would get outside by a token, but this is the card right here.
Reflector Mage is a big play here from Aaron because now Dromoka's Command needs to be played. But Dromoka's Command cannot kill both of the creatures.
Right. The hope was that the Courser on defense with the Dromoka's Command threatening to make it a 3/5 would be enough to hold off all of Shapiro's board, and you would have maximum flexibility with the Dromoka's Command. Now his hand's forced, and the Courser isn't available to block.
Here is Dromoka's Command. 2 triggers, of course, here for Aaron. One for Thalia's Lieutenant, so long as he does remember it for a human entering the battlefield. The other one we already know he's remembered, and Reflector Mage targeting the Courser. We're going to have a Meddling Mage get killed here from Dromoka's Command in combination with Courser of Crewfix. +1/+1 in fight, of course, are the modes. And we'll have to get confirmation on what Meddling Mage is still on the battlefield.
Probably the one on Worship,
Yeah.
because Steven just needs to cast something next turn.
Well, we're going to go over to Stevens, who will draw a Path to Exile. We don't get to see the top card of his deck. I mean, you see Stevens is eyeing up another Reliquary here.
But only a 2/2.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. You normally expect it to be a little bit larger. Stevens hasn't played a land yet this turn, so he does have a fetch land on Horizon Canopy to choose from. I guess what's kind of interesting about this, Patrick, is if you're Todd, you do have 3 sources of white mana. So your plan this turn could be Path the Freebooter, Settle the Wreckage, your battlefield.
Yeah. But what happens if Shapiro doesn't cooperate? Like, at a certain point, you have to tap out and put some creatures on the battlefield.
At a certain point, yeah. Hard for me to argue with that.
Yeah, but if he played Horizon Canopy, then that's pretty plainly the plan here.
Well, we're going to go back over to Aaron now. Aaron will draw a card. Well,
oh, boy.
Aaron is making this look easy, and this is part of the reason that Humans is such a gosh darn good deck.
Ugh.
Because here's another copy of Meddling Mage, and whatever Todd Stevens likes to do is going to be trouble for him. He casts Path to Exile now to get the Settle back. You just name Settle. He doesn't cast anything. You just name Path.
Yep.
This is just what makes Humans such a difficult deck
That's
to beat.
a brutal draw from Stevens' side here. He was already at risk of kind of getting a little locked up with his mana if Shapiro didn't cooperate, and now it's just, as you mentioned, no real good option here on what to do.
Yeah, Stevens was already in a rock and a hard place.
He's also just going to be presenting lethal on this attack.
Yeah. There is the Path on the on the Kite Cell Freebooter to give him back the Settle the Wreckage. So Aaron will take a moment and search up a land. Looks like it's going to be the island. These Humans decks have changed a little bit. They've cut a Seachrome Coast to fit in a basic island to go along with the basic planes they already play. Settle the Wreckage is, of course, the name here. And our follow-up is, of course, a Thales Lieutenant, because why wouldn't it be?
Just in case.
Of course. Counters aplenty on all those Humans. And I think we're going to see Aaron move on, potentially, to 6-0. Aaron Shapiro is going to win this match over Todd Stevens 2-1. Humans too much for Bant midrange to overcome. It was a pretty good keep there from Todd Stevens, truth be told. And Aaron didn't even get things started on the first turn of the game, but Humans demonstrating again just why it is such a good deck, able to